The segue from this is that Biden voters, some of them are catching on. Some of them are actually starting to realize and regret the vote that they cast for Biden, which is really their own fault. But there's these text message conversations that have been going up all over the place of just two different people just talking, and people that voted for Biden basically coming out and saying, what in the world did I just do? So a conversation, the best one here is where this guy basically, first of all, said, Jeremy just called and yelled at me. He said everyone in the job site is freaking out and thinking that they're going to lose their job. He's blaming me for voting for Biden. You know, I hated the way Trump acted. Is it true that Jeremy could lose his job? And then the person responds to them saying, first, I'm sorry Jeremy is more than likely losing his job. Without the pipeline and fracking, Biden just destroyed the oil industry, which will domino into many other industries in America, and we will be paying foreign countries for oil again, so it's about to get really expensive. This is just flat out common sense. I'm going to be honest with you though. You voted for this. I didn't, and you voted for this. I didn't, and neither did Jeremy. But we will be suffering. I'm so sick of the Trump is mean. And the man built a great economy. But your hurt feelings got in the way of you researching the truth. You let Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper lie to you every night into some unicorn utopia of complete garbage. And it kind of goes on. But the point is that these people are finally starting to see, and this is just the beginning. I mean, this is what are we, a week? Not even a week after the inauguration. And people are already seeing some stupid decisions that are just straight up killing jobs. The first day that Biden was officially president, he basically killed 11,000 jobs. That's insane. And people are starting to realize that and now saying, wait a minute, what did I do? This is because they did nothing but pay attention to the mainstream media. And I keep saying this to people. Yes, there was fraud in this election. But I think one of the biggest culprits is the mainstream media lying to people every day, 24/7. Saying that Trump did stuff that he never did, misinterpreting what he was saying on purpose, and just slamming him day in and day out. And now, people that voted for Biden just thinking that, oh, it's the real return to normalcy we wanted. Just completely ignored his policies. And mostly because the news wasn't going to tell you what his crazy policies were. I mean, they'd cut off debates. They would cut segments and other things that would allow for you to really hear Biden out. This is just the beginning of what's going to happen. Some people were ignoring what Trump said the entire time. These are the same people that ignored the debates. They ignored every Trump speech. They ignored everything Trump had said. And they would rather listen to CNN to tell them what to think. And then when they realize that they've been tricked, all of a sudden, oops, big oops. The fact is that most people are actually sheep. They just do what other people tell them to do. They believe everything they hear, and they don't think for themselves whatsoever. The fact is that we as people have to be free thinkers. But being a free thinker is not easy. It's definitely the narrow path, not the wide path, for sure. It's the road less traveled. Because of the fact that you have to go out of your way to actually do anything, to research topics about what's actually happening in our country. And it takes time and it takes effort, and you actually have to really dig deep and look on specific websites and really look at the sources and look directly at videos instead of hearing it from a third-party source telling you or summarizing it for you. You really do. And that is tough to do. And it takes time. It takes me time. It takes all of us time. But if you're watching this, you're already doing something by not paying attention to the mainstream media anyways. But others need to be mindful of that. When you believe everything you see on the news, then you wind up getting tricked. And that's what's happened. How many Biden voters do you honestly think would have voted for him if they really knew what he stood for and what those policies meant? And how many more people do you think would have voted for Trump if they actually knew the things that he's actually accomplished, which I went over on the show last week. All of this is because of the media. All of this is because of what's going on, but it's also the people's fault. All the people that voted for Biden that are regretting it now, it's their fault too, obviously. Because they were the ones that should have been looking up the information for themselves instead of waiting for someone else to tell them who to vote for, tell them who's good, and tell them who's bad, instead of letting them make that their own determination. You can't believe everything that you hear from these outlets, from social media, from anywhere, really. You have to go to smaller sources, to the original places where these things were brought from, because otherwise you're just susceptible to be tricked and duped into something that you never thought you would have seen coming. And before you realize it, just like it is for these people now, it's too late. It's too late to do anything.
You just watched a clip from The William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.